Have Arsenal finally got their man, a striker that they've so sorely needed for a long time? Benjamin Sesko, the young Leipzig centre-forward, who apparently, reportedly, was always Mikel Arteta's first choice, even with their new sporting director, Berta in situ, who reportedly really wanted Viktor Gyökeres. That was his primary target for a while, or at least that's again what the reports were suggesting. But apparently everyone is aligned on Benjamin Sesko. Transfer News Live on X is saying he's agreed personal terms. Of course, we can only react to headlines, news, rumours here on the channel. And Christian Falk saying that this is pretty wild. This is the other story I want to get into today. That Pini Zahavi, of course, the football agent, is working on a deal that would see Bayern Munich star Leroy Sane join Tottenham. Wow. What a superstar he is as well. I think he's a free transfer, so that will obviously be very alluring for Daniel Levy. I guess maybe he wants to move to London. What? Tottenham have got Champions League football. They got a nice stadium. They got great training facilities. But yeah, we'll get into it. Guys, welcome back to Football Yannick. How's it going? Hope you guys are all doing well. Daily content here on the channel, of course, reacting to all the big news in football and big matches. Of course, it's the Champions League final tonight, baby, and I will be reacting to that accordingly as well. But I like giving my thoughts on all of the big stories in football, and if you do think you'll enjoy it and, you know, want to be part of it, please do consider liking and subscribing. I'm very grateful for all the positive momentum that there's been here on the channel recently, so I'm so pleased the content is being well received by you guys. I really appreciate that. All right then, where to start? Let's start with Leroy Sane and Tottenham, because I think Sesko to Arsenal, you know, should it happen, is actually massive considering their situation. So this is coming from Christian Falk, who of course is a German football sort of broadcaster journalist, he's head of football, in Sport Build. You would have heard his name pop up before many times, Christian Falk. And he's posted on X, Pini Zahavi is working on a deal that Bayern Munich star Leroy Sane joins Tottenham. Now, Leroy Sane, I believe, is a free transfer. I think Bayern Munich wanted to get him over the line. Apparently, he's got mega money demands, certain headlines are saying in Football Insider. Bearing in mind, if he is a free transfer, the 29-year-old, he will be due a sign-on fee / big wages. So his contract expired. Yeah, his contract is expired. So not even a a option to extend. So he will be going on a free transfer. He didn't extend with Bayern. I imagine they wanted him to extend. He's a versatile player, predominantly a right winger, who can also play on the left and operate in central areas. He is a left footer, hence liking to play on the right, cutting in. That's just modern football, isn't it? That's what they all do. He turns 30 next year, the 11th of January. So he can still operate at a high level. I imagine, what do you give a 29-year-old Sane who turns 30 in the middle of next season? I suppose you give him a 2+1 deal at your discretion, and of course he'll be on higher wages. Now look, he's very good. He obviously, I think he still starts for Germany. You know, you got Musiala, Wirtz, and Demman. But I mean, he is devastating. He looks really good. He's been really good for Bayern Munich this season. In fact, let's just quickly have a look at his numbers, shall we? Just for further context before I start speaking about it. So yeah, in the Bundesliga, he's only played 1,600 minutes, and in those 1,600 minutes, he's got 11 goals and 5 assists, so 16 league goal involvements in 1,600 minutes, which is great. 100 minutes per goal involvement. Of course, he's devastating on counter-attack. He's very good footwork. We've seen him win a Premier League under Guardiola, of course, before he went off to Bayern Munich. And last season he got 8 goals and 11 assists. Yeah, nearly 20 goal involvements in the league. Consistently good. At the last time he was in Man City, he started the 1920 campaign but didn't play, so it was obviously just before he was sold. But the season in the 18-19 season, double figures for both goals and assists in the Premier League, which is excellent. 20 goal involvements in 1,800 minutes, devastating. 4 goals, 4 assists. Season before that in the league, double digits again for goals and assists. 10 goals, 15 assists. So he's a very, very effective, winger still in his 20s. It would obviously be a very, very, very exciting transfer, exciting acquisition for Tottenham fans, showing that they have some form of pull. I mean, let's be real, let's be honest, let's be fully transparent. They've been awful the last season, Tottenham. They had a very accommodating run to a European final where they met the worst Manchester United team in Premier League history. Now, I'm not trying to take away their Europa League. They won it, they deserve it, they earned it. But surely, we can all evaluate the truth of the path, as it were. And Tottenham fans will tell you that. They won't care. They'll be like, we won a trophy. They'll laugh at Arsenal, who we're about to talk about. Rightly, it's the theatre of football, it's banter, etc. But Sane will have his eyes wide open, but maybe he wants to play in that big stadium. Maybe he wants to live in London. Maybe he wants the training facilities. Maybe he just wants to play for Tottenham. Maybe he wants to be the next Heung-min Son and score a lot of goals and, whatever. I don't know. Of course, Tottenham's in an insane situation at the moment because we don't even know who's going to manage them. It really feels like it shouldn't be Ange. That's my personal opinion. Let me know your personal opinions. Football is, of course, a game of opinions. And let's move on and talk about Benjamin Sesko. So, at Deadline Day Live, which is a big X account with nearly 3 million followers, it's saying Arsenal have already struck an agreement with over personal terms with Benjamin Sesko, who is a great striker. He's, of course, been profiled and followed by all kinds of clubs, Chelsea, other big high-profile clubs. But Arsenal have done a lot of work profiling him, scouting him, and it's been reported long before the new sporting director that Mikel Arteta wants Benjamin Sesko. Now, he makes Arsenal a lot better. Just to reiterate some some observations recently. As a Chelsea fan who saw Kai Havertz, I think he's a great talent. He's a unique player. A unicorn player in not like, the way like the best players like Salah or De Bruyne or Hazard or something like that. Like these amazing footballers, recent greats in the Premier League. It's more like he's clearly very talented, but he's unique, but he's actually hard to fit in. And what Chelsea ended up doing, we wanted to sign him as actually an offensive 8 under Lampard. He ended up being a sort of a meat and potatoes number 9 for Tuchel. Mikel Arteta signs him. He's going to be an offensive 8 for Arsenal. Him and Ødegaard are going to flank the deeper Declan Rice. Of course, all those plans changed, especially when they found out Declan Rice is much more effective as one of those 8s. What happens? Kai Havertz becomes a meat and potatoes, head on a stick, in a way. Do you know what I mean? Because he wins headers, and it kind of wastes a lot of his attributes. But also, if you're going to play with like that, you're not optimizing your centre forward. And again, a midfielder in Mikel Merino they've turned to. And when I say head and a stick, I don't want to denigrate what a good footballer is, but they're like, right, you can win headers, you can hold the ball up. Players this B-Tech Giroud. Do you know what I mean? There's a bit like that. So getting Sesko is a proper seasoned and developed number 9 for those purposes that Arteta are looking for. But he'll be better than Kai Havertz as a striker. He'll be better than Mikel Merino. And obviously he's really good in the air. I think he's good in the air. Let me just double check this because I've profiled him before for Chelsea. Yeah, he's incredibly good in the air. His FB Ref scouting report, his top and most strong metrics, above all, are percentage of aerials won. So I was right to remember, he's really good in the air. Arsenal are big on corners and set pieces. We know they love them. So to add yet another, with the centre-backs, Saliba and Gabriel, Even like, I think Declan Rice takes the set pieces now, but, to add a Sesko in there and to defend set pieces, because of course Arsenal actually, despite being very good at attacking set pieces, I don't think they're all particularly good at defending set pieces. Will make Arsenal a lot better. They'll have an additional reinforcement to be able to play Marino in midfield. Havertz will be back to play different roles as well. Suddenly Arteta can look to try and shoehorn in Havertz in different places in different game states. And they created a lot of chances. The high-profile disappointment against PSG in the Champions League this season. They created chances, but they just didn't have a finisher. Sesko, he's not like a crazy high numbers in terms of finishing, but he can score like a belter. He's good in the air. He's young, and his ceiling is high. So Arsenal have... Should this get over the line, which if we are to believe the report that he's agreed personal terms, it will be an amazing signing for Arsenal. So let me know what you guys think. Please do leave your comments on Sane to Tottenham and Sesko to Arsenal. Very high profile transfers indeed. If you do like the content, please do like and subscribe. Of course, not just reacting to footballing stories, but big games as well. Just general matchups or indeed finals like the Champions League tonight, mate. All right, hope you're all doing well. Take care of yourselves. Enjoy the football. See you soon. Peace.